It is an opposite day, but Fields in first place and Daniels not last. And I didn't say it isn't opposite day because it is opposite day, and I'm just going along with the game by saying it is an opposite day. Welcome to Real Talk. I'm your host, Yurt Lapgum. Our first matchup of the week is a bit of a tragic one, but let's go ahead and take a look anyway. Training fall. Great pumpkin.
Hey Jones, Team Marinate.
This week, Team Marinate faced off against the Great Pumpkin, and much to the dismay of Coach Trey McFall, he learned that you can, in fact, marinate a pumpkin. After leading in the matchup going into Monday night, the Great Pumpkin learned the hard way that karma is a cold-hearted bitch named Andrew Luck. And, as none of you but Alex knows, last week Trey texted several memes of Andrew Luck, in addition to the usual dick pics, to the coach of the Titty Duckers, mocking him for losing on Monday night. Well, what goes around comes around, and as the Great Pumpkin lost this Monday night to Team Marinate, 81-68. Now, instead of a witty introduction to the next matchup, I'd actually like to talk about Team Marinate for a little bit longer. You see, last week Coach Nate Jones spent $75 on Isaiah Crowell. That's right, $75. 3/4 of the entire season's budget. $75 on a running back who's not a starter. I hope for his sake that Isaiah Crowell personally gave him a hand job, because that's just outrageous, and I guarantee that last week we saw the most expensive 54 yards of the entire season.
Tanner Jones, beautiful team.
Marco Flores, Hogwarts.
It's better late than never in the case of Coach Marco Flores. After an embarrassing Week 1, Team Beats by Ray scored the most points of the week. 25 points from Rodgers and 26 points from his defense ultimately sealed the deal against Coach Tanner Jones and Matt Ryan's real limp dick performance. Beats by Ray pummels a no longer beautiful team, 104-72. Is it possible to win a matchup when your quarterbacks put up a combined 7 points?
Pearson Cunningham, Q. Charlie Google, Mr. Charles Bear.
Well, Q once again is questioning his decision to support RG3. The Washington quarterback is injured and out of commission again. But don't count on Kaepernick to pick up the slack. This week he threw 3 interceptions. Mr. Charles Bear, on the other hand, had 2 predictable outputs by his quarterbacks, but nothing special. He still couldn't pull out the victory. Q moves to 2-0 after beating Mr. Charles Bear 73-60. The closest matchup of the week was between Coach Hank Patterson and Coach Alex Edelman. Despite A.J. Green not playing Sunday, the LA Golds were winning by 15 points going into Monday night. However, much to the dismay of Hank's balls, Nick Foles and Zach Ertz put up 16 points. The LA Golds got ducked by 1 point. Now, we know Coach Hank Patterson hates ties, but I'm sure he's still pretty upset about this. The Titty Duckers win, 56-55. Let's look at our next matchup.
Bill Snyder, Sunday Scheme.
John Javon, the Don Javons.
Now, some people said Cody Parker wasn't worth $11, that paying that much for him when no one else bid on him was a bad decision, that John must have been eating paint chips and then shitting them out and using his paint chip feces to make jankum. Well, those naysayers would only be half right. You see, Cody Parker put up 12 points this week. However, it still wasn't enough to beat the Sunday Scheme. Coach Phil Snyder's quarterback Jay Cutler had 4 touchdowns and a big dick swing and 28 points. The Sunday Scheme beats the Don Javines 94-85. Not even the dynamic duo of Matt Castle and Derek Carr could stand up to the Butthole Surfers this week.
Max Shipley, Eve Manning.
Stephen Flores, Butthole Surfer.
Even with Jamal Charles not playing this week, Coach Stephen Flores was able to have the second most points scored for the second week in a row. 22 points from Peyton Manning and 17 points from the Buffalo kicker confirmed that Max's awful quarterbacks wouldn't be able to get a W this week. Butthole Surfers puckered up and beat Mutant Mayonnaise 96-71. It's a new season and possibly a new Vinegar Strokes.
Daniel Kelly, Vinegar Strokes.
Charlie McGugan, Heisman Dick.
After it was announced that Carson Palmer would not be playing this week, Coach Daniel Kelly made a quick waiver wire pickup of Drew Stanton. That's right, Coach Daniel Kelly made a waiver wire pickup, allowing him to enter this week with not one, but two quarterbacks that would be playing. Yes, Coach Graham McGugan sure was in for it. On the other hand, Coach Graham McGugan had 7 players score less than 5 points. 7 players. That's as many as Daniel's team. But, unlike Daniel's team, Team Reggie Lamouf choked down on a big, throbbing, veiny loss this week. Vinegar Strokes is back with a vengeance as they win 78-54. Well, that's it for Real Talk this week. I'm Yurt Lapkum, and until next time, keep it real.